Special thanks to Hoodrat for sponsoring this video. Remember to use code HERRING for 10% off on their website right now. Hoodrat.us. Go there now. Now.
Well, let's see how the video is doing. I bet it did great. What's so long on that? What's so long on that? What? How is this? Oh my god, who's there?
My son, okay?
Please take whatever you want. Take my YouTube channel, please.
I don't want anything from you, okay? Except all your money, okay? I'm not here to give you an idea, okay?
Oh, okay, what's that?
Just make another ship lore and retrospective video so I can sell more ships, okay?
Oh my god, you're right.
Hello, Davio. I have decided to conduct an investigation into this great ship we all know and love as the Pioneer for one simple reason: Minecraft.
I love Mason base building.
It was requested, yes, which means that I am in fact doing an request, so you can't say I don't do that. Here we can see the well-written request, so well written in fact that I could not find it in my heart to refuse. Well done, Ivan. I do, however, see that you are apparently from the Holy See, and I really hope mentioning you by name will not bite me in the ass later. It better not.
Nu är det bara du och jag, Emil.
But anyway, let us begin with the lore. The Pioneer was officially unveiled in 2947 by Consolidated Outland's own CEO, Elon McConaughey. Ladies and gentlemen, a decade ago I stood here before y'all and promised you one thing: bioengineered catgirls in every home. Like this one, Alexandra. And this one, Sarah. So, think about that. But I'm not here to give y'all that today. I'm instead here to give you all the Pioneer. And this announcement was of course made in Frankfurt, Germany, which is false, because as we all know, Germany does not exist. Ich war mal in Lübeck, jede Menge Alkohol zu kaufen. Es war großartig. Abonnieren bitte. And since that point, it has not really done anything, as it has not entered the game yet, so we haven't seen the effects lore-wise. This is practically where the story ends as a consequence for now. So the Pioneer is, despite of appearances and capabilities, a very young ship design, being only 8 years old now.
Fun begins.
To see the bungling and the overpromising and delays in 4K. Understandably, a ship of this size and scale was always going to be a gigantic challenge for the vehicle teams to tackle. The original concept was released in 2017 and is vastly different from what we see in the reconcept. The intention was for this already massive ship to further expand into an even larger footprint in order to fabricate bases, sort of like an overgrown 3D printer. Which I, for some reason, imagine as one of these new fancy schmancy concrete 3D printers people have been raving about for a couple of years. But where are they now? Alright, they're still being used. Never mind. In any case, the Pioneer can be seen as an avatar for the shift in base building philosophy that CIG went through. With the reconcept in 2024, the ship grew in size. Oh.
The war has changed. Did it? The answer is no. Unless it is yes.
But seeing as the ship has changed from opening up via the arm, I believe it is fair to say it hasn't necessarily grown, but instead had its size turned to the maximum extension in the old concept as standard. As they said in 2024, the ship would become nearly twice as big when the old arm had extended anyway. The old model had the entire ship opening up with a massive footprint to then internally construct the base pieces to then be moved to the location where they were desired. But now, the ship serves instead as a base to deploy and manage 4 large construction drones that will be far more flexible to manage, managingly, as they can fly where they need to be while still being controlled from the mothership.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
I could also imagine not utilizing drones, but instead prefabricating base parts would be a nightmare. First, you'd have to find a place to land, fabricate the piece, then move it. But we'll discuss this more in the specs. This is a true behemoth of the stars with the reconcept. She grew, gentlemen. Yes, she grew indeed. The current dimensions are as follows: 247 meters long, 133 meters wide, and 53 meters high, so about the size of your sister. Do please tell her I said hi. All components went from size 3s to the now far more fitting capital class of components. Thank God! Imagine flying around with Perseus components in that behemoth. It is meant to be a truly self-sustaining ship with all the facilities to maintain a base on the fringes out in the wild wilderness, and make probably even larger bases. Not only is the Pioneer meant to fabricate bases, but it can also fabricate ships that are large or small enough to fit on its landing pad upon completion. These ships of course being made with the onboard fabricators, which are some large ones for vehicles and ships, and smaller fabricators for FPS weapons, armor and tools, and any other useful crap you can think to make. Oh dear. Speaking of the landing pad, this means that the Pioneer can easily and continuously be refilled with the required materials without needing to move itself, which is a great feature. It also comes with its own super special landing gear. Wow! Utilizing Consolidated Outland's very own VeriPad technology to help stabilize the ship, which will aid in dispensing of that most annoying thing I lifted earlier, finding a proper place to land for this massive machine so you can start constructing your base. The landing gear also have integrated resource extractors, so when you land you can instantaneously exploit the local area upon touchdown. What a feature! Quasi-grazer, what's that? I've only heard of quasi, fuck off! There is also an onboard medical area for all those little boo-boos that you might have when you're constructing your base. The Pioneer gets medical facilities, but not the Perseus. What is this overpowered fucking garbage? What the fuck is this? There are 4 extra large drones on the ship. These appear only to be for construction purposes and are so far not intended for multi-purpose like mining. There are also individual crew pods where you can have all the privacy you so desire. Calm down in there, you're gonna shake the whole ship off its hinges. For weapons, there appear to be 2 big boy turrets and 6 size 4 pilot-controlled weapons, which appears to me to be insane. Are you going to dogfight in this ship? Who am I kidding? Of course you are. You're my special little boy, aren't you? I do not consider this to be nearly enough unless these are massive guns, but size would make them slow and leave the Pioneer even more vulnerable. So it is to be assumed that the Pioneer will likely see one of the larger PDC complements in the game to supplement the lack of manned turrets, if this remains the case. And there's also 1000 SU cargo capacity if you wanted to know. Ashford, I need opinions right now from you. I'm desperate. I need content for my new video. Please, do you have anything to add? Do you have any opinion on the Pioneer? Oh, shit. The Pioneer represents one of the most critical and required pieces of the game, that being base building. But not just your average schmuck base building, no dirt shacks here, no. The Pioneer represents the true organizational level base building, the sort of backbone that is required for the game to finally start having its own player-run economy. Imagine having that. Has anybody seen Tony Z, by the way? What the hell is that, man? With the ability for large groups of players to band together and construct massive bases, it will increase the production capacity markedly across the verse. I find it likely that we will see a smaller version of base building as a first test, as a proof of concept if you will, for smaller groups, and this will likely come with smaller level crafting. But when the big boss finally drops down on top of all the smaller boys, we will see a true economy of scale. Finally, this game-changing ship will mark a new era in the game, a point that will mark a clear before and after. In Star Citizen, there will be before the Pioneer and after the Pioneer. It will also be quite interesting to see how the larger groups of players navigate the implementation of base building at the Pioneer. Smaller groups and soloers will scurry between the cracks of larger organizations and probably live more remotely, whereas larger groupings will contest and fight over those most desirable pieces of real estate. Siri, please, do you have any opinions on the Pioneer? I'll give you food. Do you have any opinion? Damn it, I can't even bribe these two. They're unbribable. With the building of a base, there is also the critical aspect of not just the prettiness of the location that you have found, but also what lay underneath. I propose that we will soon be seeing the ability for ships like the Mole or Prospector to scan deeper into the earth to find the riches beneath the soil. These will probably only be able to be reached by the big lasers we saw during the CitizenCon of 2023, so critically it will not just be about the view, but the land itself carrying value. Finally, the big organizations will have something to genuinely do other than just bully smaller orgs or camping OM points. Now they can camp the OM point and build bases to fight larger organizations. Wowee! It does appear that we got theaters of war in the end after all. And although I look forward to it, space stations are something that I believe we are likely to see even later because it simply makes sense to focus on getting terrestrial bases honed first. Putting these two base types in at the same time is asking for trouble, knowing CIG's track record for chasing down and dealing with recurring bugs. This ship is the dream ship for many, not because of such things as big space laser or the hotshot pilot ship, but because it represents the final arrival of permanency. We have of course had persistence for some time now, but when this ship comes to the game, I think it'll be the first time where we actually feel it. Finally, we can put down our roots in the game and find a place in the verse which we can call our home. Me, you, and everyone else that is encroaching on our sacred land.
Fuck off, you bastards! I lived here first. I saw this place first. Get the fuck away from me, you sons of bitches.
I am no longer asking, I want it, give it to me now. Thank you to all my Banu merchantmen, without whose support all of this would be improbable. Thank you to the Banu merchantmen of the Sustroming class of Half-Breed Bastard, Big Kronk, Mouse Click, Devidry, and Waffle. The fantastic people of Ifanura, Sorgi XD, Albatross, and Ignore Me. The enthusiasts of Long Yawn, Bloodix, Festetsu, Beikel, Monk, and Dave of Yogs. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Vergesst bitte nicht, zu liken, zu kommentieren und zu abonnieren. Ich liebe dich und du liebst mir. I think. The original intention was the original intention